And here what you see is a dust creating core in the atmosphere, causing it to rain dust on the Earth. And the dust clouds provide a conduit through which energy can flow from the Earth's core to the planet X core above the surface, which is up here, which then creates more dust with the energy and thus creates dust rain. So this is its cloud envelope, and it drops down towards the surface, and that provides a conduit for energy to flow from the Earth's core, which is inside the body of the Earth, up to the object there, up here, which then gives it the energy to start matter creation. Weather systems are due to water creating planet X cores in the atmosphere. They are surrounded in gaseous clouds, which they create, coming in with their original clouds, which they had before they became energy depleted, and creating new ones once they make a connection with the Earth's surface with their existing cloud envelopes, i.e. through a spout connection. Now here what we see is an illustration of how a low pressure region will immediately disappear. If a low pressure region appears in the Earth's atmosphere, the pressure will be immediately equalized because air from the surroundings will immediately flow in to equalize the pressure. So it would immediately disappear. So the fact that we have low pressure systems that move across the Earth's atmosphere and remain as low pressures means that they have to be created by a source of gravity. There has to be a force creating them. And in fact, there has to be a force which causes the rotation of the air around it. It violates Newton's second law of motion to have a rotation of matter without having a force giving rise to that rotation. It is, in other words, it's impossible. So what we have is sources of gravity. We have what I call stellar cores, or these are the cores of these planet X planets, which became energy depleted. They broke up, and the cores were released. They come into Earth to absorb energy. And here you see one of these stellar cores dropping this cloud. This is part of its cloud envelope, and it drops. This is a spout that it drops, makes a connection with the surface of the Earth, and then energy flows through there. So it's a conduit for energy to flow from the Earth's core up to the core that's up here. And once it receives the energy, then it can start matter creation. So what happens is you see lightning, and then it starts creating gases. So often you see the cloud expanding, growing, and then soon after that, there's usually rain, if it's a water creating stellar core. And these that do these things usually are. In addition to there not being winds, storms, continuous dust coming down through the atmosphere, there were also no waves in bodies of water unless there were waterfalls flowing into them. Ocean and lake waves are due to fluctuating surface gravitational fields as a result of the presence of planet X inside the Earth's atmosphere, which causes gravitational anomalies and a constantly changing surface gravitational field, as well as constant pressure changes in the atmosphere as atmospheric matter responds to the changing gravitational fields. And you may look at Article 735 entitled Ocean Waves, Planet X Causing Earth's Gravitational Field to Fluctuate. Thus, there were no deserts. Deserts are due to sand being deposited by sand creating stellar cores, and no ice sheets like the one on Antarctica, nor were there any icebergs, as icebergs are frozen Planet X ocean, which are coming in as Planet X debris and falling to the surface of the Earth. They end up in the ocean because most likely the powers that be steer them to the places like the North Pole or Antarctica. There were no comets in the sky because the objects come into the solar system and are observed as comets. Comets and meteors produce light through the same mechanism. Comets draw an electrical current from the sun's core, and comets draw an electric current from the Earth's core. There were no insect plagues or infectious diseases, as these come in with the Planet X debris. There was no snow, as snow is frozen Planet X atmosphere, and hail is what is left of the water which was inside the bodies of the planets at the time that they broke up. And you may look at Article 615 entitled Snow Turning Black When Burnt has alien chemical compounds, and Article 781 entitled Hailstones Water Originally Inside Planet X Planets. And here you can see a perfectly still water and no clouds in the sky. This would be what the Earth looked like then, except maybe it was most likely more tropical, warmer weather and warm weather all year round. There were no seasons. So this is more of a tropical environment here. And you would expect to have perfectly still water in shallow lakes. Water would be disturbed by waterfalls only. The water is also perfectly clear so that the rocks at the bottom can be clearly seen, because there was no dust being deposited into it, which is now coming in as Planet X debris. And here are some of these objects in the Earth's atmosphere. You can see that we have a perfectly spherical cloud, and that can only be possible because we have a spherical object in there. But they're not all spheres. These two seem to be in the shape of disks, and so they can adopt different shapes. And these ones, as you can see, this looks like a break in the clouds, but it's not. It's actually a convex surface. You can clearly see that. You can see the cloud here is attaching to a surface that curves downwards. So this is, I don't think it's spherical. It's most likely an oblate spheroid or a flattened sphere, or more like a disc like this one here. So in conclusion, before the flood, or before the Planet X system started entering the solar system and affecting the Earth was a peaceful place to live. There were no storms, no rain, and no ocean. No ice, no icebergs, no hail, no dust continuously falling from the sky and creating a cleaning nightmare. No diseases, no insect plagues. Each day was the same weather-wise as the last, as there were no seasons, and thus each day always had 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of nighttime. After the flood, the Earth became a planet in constant flux, with its atmosphere constantly tossed around, and a new ocean which is continuously restless. Earth is a planet in distress due to the Planet X system. And here are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.